Hi again, Mark here from Talking Bass. This week we're going to be looking at a super cool slapline from the band Fishbone that features ghost notes, fast octaves and is just pure thrash funk. It's Bonin In The Boneyard, played by John Norwood Fisher. So let's first have a listen to the riff. It's about 130 beats per minute and it sounds something like this. Remember, the tab and practice track can be found over at talkingbass.net, so just click on the link in the info below, and while you're there, check out the lesson map where you'll find hundreds more lessons on every bass topic imaginable. And you can also now download the totally free Ultimate Top 10 Tips for Slap Bass Beginners that should help all you budding slappers out there get over all the common hurdles that we all face when getting started with the technique. Again, I'll link in the info below. So let's work through this riff. So we're in F minor and we begin with an F, first fret of the E string. Then we have a pop at the third fret of the D string. Okay, so we've just got that octave pattern there. So the first F is on beat 1 and then the pop is on the and of 2. So 1, 2 and. Okay, so that's the first part. For the next part we've got this little lick. Okay, so we start on a B flat, first fret of the A string, and hammer on to the C at the third fret, okay? Then we have a ghost note. Okay, so it's that little dead note. So I'm just laying the hand lightly across the strings there, but I will come back to this in a minute. I've got a little technical tip for you. So then pop at the E flat, first fret of the D string, another ghost note on the A string, then pop at the F on the D string, so the third fret. So, okay, so we're just going back to a ghost note each time. Finally, we have those two ghost notes, so I'm just laying the hand there, slapping on the A string, popping on the D string. Okay, and that's it. So let's just put those two parts together. So 3 and 4 and. So you can see there that when you get to that second part, it's quite quick. Okay, so you just have to practice it slowly until you get that action down. Next, we have another cool little hammer-on ghost note lick that sounds like this. Okay, so we're playing the B flat, first fret of the A string, hammering onto the C again, third fret of the A string, and then we have slap, pop, ghost note. So there's two ways of doing this. I'm actually playing A string, G string there, okay? But you can also play A string, D string, okay? So that's with the D string and then with the G string. So whichever one's the most comfiest, but they're both ghost notes, so. So with this lick, you want to start out really slow. So just start out with that hammer on, and then just lay that hand lightly across to get those two ghost notes, and just practice doing that round and round. And take it as slow as you need to go. I mean, you know, you don't have to be embarrassed about having to play really, really slow. However slow you have to go to begin with, get it down to that and then gradually build up. And, you know, before you know it, you'll be up to speed. So, just go round and round on that. Okay? So, now let's just put all of that together. So, 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that's the line. So just play that in isolation to begin with. And don't worry about getting it all in time at the start. Just get those notes under your fingers. You know, you want to get the rhythm right to some extent, but don't worry about it going out of time because you're playing it wrong. Just get it really slow and then just get those notes under your fingers. For the second half of this riff, we have a repeat pretty much of the first. So we start on that low F, pop that high F, and then we have, just as we did in the first part. But instead of playing the two ghost notes then, we just play a single ghost note and then hit the B flat at the 3rd fret of the G string. Okay? Then we have two ghost notes. So slap, pop, and I'm doing that on the A string and G string. So. Then we have a repeat of the first part of that lick. So. Okay, so that's just how we played it in the first half. Okay, so that's that lick. So. Finally, we have a set of octave patterns running down from the A flat back to the F, which sounds like this. Okay, so we start on the A flat, 4th fret E string, 6th fret D string, then we just move down a half step or a fret at a time. So then G, then F sharp or G flat, and then back to the F. So 4th fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and back to the F. Okay, so you want to try practicing that in isolation too. Just get used to playing the octaves. Just get used to playing those at high speed because it's pretty quick when you're coming back. So start out slow and just make sure to get those slaps in there because it's easy to generally to get the pops, but sometimes when you're doing that, you can kind of mess up the slaps. Okay, so now all we have to do is add those octaves to that second half of the riff, which sounds like this. Okay, and we come back to that F. So finally, we just have to put those two halves together to create the whole riff, which sounds like this. 3 and 4 and... And that's the whole thing, okay? So you just then cycle it round. And like I said, start out really, really slow as you need to go to keep it clean, and then just gradually build up speed, okay? Now, before I play along with the backing track again, I'll just work through the tip that I mentioned when it comes to the ghost notes. Now, any of you that have seen any of my slap videos on YouTube or worked through the simple steps to slap bass course over at Talking Bass will know what I'm talking about when I mention the home position. And the home position, you know, I've kind of named it that, but you know, I've not invented it. It's just a way that most people play. But it's a really, really good way of getting used to playing these ghost notes and controlling your note duration, okay? So all we have to do for this home position is to just basically lie the hand across the strings and mute them. So what we're going to do is take the first finger there, and we'll do this over the 3rd fret, let's say. So lay that first finger down over the A, D, and G strings lightly, and when you do that, you'll probably get some harmonics, okay? So I'm not pushing down, I'm just laying it dead weight on there. Then we take the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers and we just bring them down like this. So you can see that 2nd finger is kind of extending a little past the edge of the neck, and you should have all those fingers laid lightly across the strings. So then as we slap and pop, we just get the ghost notes. So you can see that position gives us ghost notes, but we're not really just seeing it in terms of ghost notes. This is the position that you want to go to whenever you pick up your bass, because when you plug in, you got a loud amp. If you're in that position to begin with your volume up, you're not going to have any accidents. Everything is taken care of. You're not going to have any of this kind of thing going on. It's all taken care of, okay? So we start in that position, and from that position, we have silence, okay? So then, if I was to, let's say, play a C, 3rd fret of the A string, because the hand's in that position, all I then do is simultaneously perform 3 actions. I press down the C, obviously, with the first finger there. I raise the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers, and slap all at the same time. Okay? Now, that might seem really obvious, right? But it is a slightly different perspective to just thinking, oh, I'm going to hold down that note, you know, and then play. We're starting from the silence and then allowing the note to come through. Then when we want to choke the note, we just return to the home position. I don't think about bringing the fingers down and releasing the pressure, even though that is what we're doing. I'm just thinking back to our original position. So we get a good muscle memory for what that feels like. And then play the note back, okay? Okay, so we're cutting down on the processes that we have to think of. We're not having to think, press that down, release that, slap. We're just thinking that and back, okay? And that gives us good note control. Now, as well as giving us good note control, it's also perfect for playing ghost notes, because when we're in that position, we get the ghost notes. So, if we go back to the Bonin In The Boneyard riff, when we start, I'm actually in the home position there. When I play that first F, I then choke the note on beat 2, let's say, 1, 2. I'm just returning to home position, okay? 1, 2. And then when I play that popped F there, you can see I'm still pretty much in home position. I'm just stabbing at it while keeping all these other strings held down with these other fingers. You know, if you get used to this home position, you know, and just isolating certain fingers and stabbing with them, it makes everything a lot cleaner. So then you can see there, the hand is very clean. I'm hardly moving. I'm still in home position. And when I'm playing the ghost notes, it's easy because I'm in that home position. Again, when I get to the little lick, I'm in the home position. I play those first 2 notes and then just return to the home position. So that lick is really, really good practice at the home position, because you can see there, I'm starting in the home position, I play the note, I have the hammer on, and then I simply return to home position. Okay, so you just get used to going between the two. Just round and round. Okay? So, now bearing that home position in mind, you can work through the riff again and see if it helps. So, when we start there, I'm starting with the home position and you can see that it keeps everything nice and clean, rather than having the fingers, you know, spider fingers all over the place and then trying to get back for the ghost notes and stuff like that. You don't have to worry about any of that because you're already in this nice clean position of silence. So you want to start out really, really slowly, just build up speed until you get to 130 beats per minute, and then you can try with the practice track. So that's Bonin In The Boneyard. So remember to like this video, sign up to the channel, and hit that notification bell for news on all the weekly releases. Also, remember that you can now download the free Ultimate Top 10 Tips for Slap Bass Beginners over at Talkingbass. So just click that link in the info below, and I'll see you next week.